So, did you have a rough weekend with the white stuff? Did I have a rough weekend with the white stuff? I'm just saying. I am deeply humbled by, I want to say, the thoughts and prayers that's going out to Nashville. And I'm happy that things are improving around the country regarding the weather. And I see Mr. Springer is in the building. He's checking things out for us. I appreciate that so very much. But this is a special edition of Interludes Extra Presents Talk on Tuesdays, which is getting started right about now. Another edition of Interludes Extra Presents Talk on Tuesdays. And we are, well, I am back. I think that's about the best way to say that. I am back. It's Interludes Extra Presents Talk on Tuesdays. And of course, we want you guys to, I don't know, have fun with us tonight, even though we're going to be talking about some interesting topics tonight. But I want to let you all know about a DJ Save My Life. Please get your copy. It's available at purelighthousmedia.com/shop. You can scan the QR code, and there is the book. I probably have a little bit over 20 copies left, and once I sell out, it's hitting Amazon. And a few other places too. I got a couple of other places that it's going to be hitting as well. We want to let you guys know that you can join our Patreon community for free. We're having such a good time over there. We usually show, and we have, our behind the scenes that happen, which is really good. And so we're excited that you all are going to check us out there on patreon.com/interludes. That's always a fun time. And more articles get up there. And of course, the Purple Robe Diaries. Our affiliate sponsor is KeySpot. Connect, share, and grow your small business with our small business. Here's the thing. KeySpot, that would be Cynthia McAllister. She's the one that worked on our website. And if you have a business or a product or something that you would like to get out to the masses, you could do it through her app, and you can go to keyspot.app.com/free and find out how that can happen for you and your small business. There you go. And of course, we want to let you guys know about the morning meetup. I'm a part of this group. They are so much fun. The host, her name is Nella. She don't play. However, the gentleman who created it his name is David Shands, and I got a chance to meet him last year when he did the podcast summit, which is coming up this year in Atlanta. I think it's July 2nd and 3rd. But join the community and find out how you can be encouraged in your podcast journey. It starts first thing in the morning. 8 o'clock in the morning. You could join in on your way to work or at the very beginning of your business day. I do that for myself. It's $19 a month. There are the 7-figure podcasts. There's the how to get loans and funding for your business. It's a lot happening over there. So go ahead and scan the QR code and find out how you can join. Consistency is the only cheat code. That's one of his sayings. And you'll hear me on my social media saying, and I blame Dave. We have a webinar coming up on this Saturday. If I'd spent some time with let me stop sharing real quick. I spent some time with Alicia Little. There was a AI Business Summit. Did any of you participate in the AI Business Summit? Because I've now learned how to animate everything. AI or artificial intelligence has made it very powerful to animate any and everything. So I'm including the items that I've learned from the AI Business Summit into the new and improved webinar. It's a free webinar. You guys can scan the QR code or you can register here. The link is in the chat. Thank you so very much, Mr. Springer. Appreciate all of that. And like I said, it's a fun time. And I'm like, man, oh man, we're going to be doing our thing. So Coach Tony, you guys are following him. You go ahead and follow him on his IG. And then, of course, I have the Interludes _podcast and Val the Voice Johnson as the Instagram that you can follow. I don't know why I blanked out just now. And then, of course, Pure Lighthouse Media. That is our website, which we're very proud of. So you guys are probably wondering, where is Coach Tony? You probably are wondering that. I was wondering the same thing. Thank you so much for that, Mr. Springer. If you're in the chat, give me a shout in the chat. So what happened over the weekend? Well, this is what was happening in Nashville, Tennessee. Ice storms. You see that truck? I think that was right off of I-65. And there was a lot of bad snow. And when I say bad snow, I mean when things ice up, they weigh down the electrical lines, they weigh down the trees, everything. It's a whole horrible thing that happens. And everybody south, a lot of folks, I think the cold air has gone as far south as Texas. It's a lot going on. When I say it's a lot going on, it's a lot going on. And so that was a tractor trailer that spun out. Yeah, and you can't, if you're trying to brake and you see nothing, you see the ground, but you don't see you just see ice, you slip and you fall. And as I mentioned, I think I had Coach Tony send me these pictures from where he got it, where they didn't get a chance to get to the roads, and there were a lot of accidents and pileups that happened in Nashville. And most importantly, with the snow coming so quickly, rain and then sleet, it just became very, very not that great. So Coach Tony is right now without power. As you can see, that's like the limbs and all the rest of that. I'm like, what in the world is going on here? So they are out, they are repairing the electrical lines. I think over 240,000 homes were affected in and around Nashville. It's now dropped down to about around 100,000 homes. Tony is in the area that doesn't have power. I believe he's watching us on his phone. I told him, charge up for tonight if you can. Charge up for tonight, but please do us a favor. What is the temperature right now? The temperature right now in Chicago it's at 10 degrees. It's at 10 degrees. I don't know what is happening. And so it is something I have to say it's just really interesting. So I'm making sure that we keep coach in our prayers, because he's dealing with this, and he told his kids, don't get on the road. I'm good. You know, I can rough it out here. He's not allowed to go to work. The schools are closed. Their grocery stores, they're losing, you know, money. They're losing things. It's really horrible. But here's the thing: we are in good spirits, and Coach, like I said, I wanted to make sure I showed this. This is him with his son. Hey, Coach, that's him with his son. And like I said, he's gonna be fine. He's gonna be fine. It's I think his son is in the area that has power. Where Coach is, he does not have power. But I'm praying by the time this streams and a little bit later, they're able to like turn on the power. And that's a matter of just getting the lines unfrozen, because I don't, you know, it's 10 degrees here in Chicago, but I don't know what the temperature is in Nashville. I should probably check. But yeah, it's really rough. It's really rough. Oh my goodness. Well, I wanted to kind of do this, kind of talk about I want to say a tough subject. A lot of things were happening over the weekend, and for myself, I was making sure that, you know, I had salt. What else did I have to make sure I had? I had salt. So, and then I shoveled. Our area got a lot of snow. A lot of people were at home streaming. Were you at home streaming? Because I know that's what I was doing. I was streaming, and I kind of got lost in the Upshaws. I was checking that out. And then I was doing some writing for the podcast, and then some other things. I was, you know, really excited about, you know, getting caught up on some work, because I'm thinking I'm not going to be going out. Did any of you guys go out? Because I know I didn't. I did not go out of. I went out of my house to do two things: shovel and warm up the cars. That's what I did. Shovel, warm up, and then you come back in and you do what you can. One of the films that I got a chance to see over the weekend, and I don't know if you guys have seen this. This is called One Battle After the Other. I'm just curious. Have you guys checked that out? Because I was trying to figure out what was all the hype about this film. What was, you know, why did, you know, it win some awards and then nominated for a bunch of other things? And I'm like, what's the hype on that? And so I got a chance to check this out. One battle after the other. One battle after another. So let me take a look here. They called it a action comedy thriller, directed by Paul Thomas Anderson. So I don't know. I feel like he's been around for a minute, but then again, I'm not sure. And let me make sure I can go ahead and bring this up. But let me know in the chat if you have seen the film One Battle After the Other. At one battle after the other. And so who else? Oh, here we go. So who's it? It's like a former revolutionary and his daughter are running away from a corrupt military gentleman. And Colonel Lockjaw, who's played intensely by Sean Penn, Peffadia, and this is the character portrayed by who is this? Tiana Taylor. Tiana Taylor won the Golden Globe for Best Supporting. And then Willa, that is young actress Chase Infinity. There's a chase that happens. It becomes like a nonstop action thriller, but then there's some comedy things that happen in here too. Not too much, But the one thing that I was thinking about was the name of the activists, the French 75. They're and this is in the movie, a radical group that has the mission. I think their mission is to um, help people. I think in some parts it said immigrants. At the same time, Colonel Lockjaw, who's played by Sean Penn, he's trying to become become a part of a white supremacist group called the Christmas Adventurers Club. So these are all things happening at the one time, and then he becomes obsessed with who is this? Tiana Taylor's character, Perfidila, and she's the one that's kind of leading the French 75, this radical group. But the funny thing is that there was elements of this radical group, the way they did things was radical, but it was kind of that Robin Hood mentality, but just trying to make sure that they, they're actually doing something good, but you can't quite tell because it's radical. And the one thing that I like is it says this movie explores what happens between the family, the bonds that happen. The father, Leonardo DiCaprio, his name is, well, they've given him the name Bob. He's living a quiet life with his 16-year-old daughter, but what happens is the colonel comes back to Colonel Lockjaw comes because of his obsession with Tiana Taylor's character, and also kind of this, and this is what I caught, and this is the quote: a cynical nature of political struggle, with the film itself being a loose adaptation of Thomas Pynchon's novel Vineland. So the white supremacist group is there. You got some other things happening. You have a radical group, 75. And so when I was checking out this film, I was like, there's a lot of interesting parallels to what's actually happening in our world, just a little bit. So I was thinking, like, what does that have to do with what's been going on? And over the weekend, there was some things that was happening in Minneapolis. And I heard about something and then I didn't, because a lot of times with the news, I find myself disconnecting because it's a lot of bad news. So I'm like, I want to stay in a good head. I want to stay in a good head state. So 2 weeks ago, there was a young lady, a mother, I believe her name, I'm trying to figure out her name. She was killed by an ICE agent, and this happened about 2 weeks ago. And I'm trying to bring up her name. If you guys remember her name, just go ahead and tell me in the chat. So this has been happening literally at the same time everything else has been happening. We had ICE agents. I think they're still here in Chicago, but all Democratic cities, LA, Seattle, Minneapolis, New York. It's just a lot happening. And I tell you guys, I don't do politics. I do not do politics. Dawn, thank you so much. Renee Good, that's her name. Renee Good. And so she was killed by ICE agents. And people have been protesting everywhere. When did it become okay to kill protesters? I don't understand that. The thing that was disturbing about what I found out earlier what happened this weekend at the very same time many of us were dealing with this snowstorm is that an ICU nurse, his name is Alex Peretti. Peretti, yes. Peretti. This makes no sense. He was a gentleman who was trying to protect another person that was getting caught up. And it wasn't just one ICE agent, it was several. I think he had his gun on him, but he didn't have his gun pointing at anybody. It was on his hip. And his sister came out and pretty much said she disputed the horrible things that were being said about Alex, her brother. And Coach Tony is checking in. He says, this is crazy. ICE is doing too much, and I do political issues. And he wishes he had the internet. Yeah. And then this is Kevin is telling you, hey, Coach T, because Tony is holding it down with no power right now. But I'd love to know what you guys think about this, because it doesn't make sense in this country that people that are protesting against what's happening to people with ICE, that now not only are they getting pepper sprayed, they're getting killed. And this doesn't make any sense to me. And now Coach says, did you hear about the ICE agents who were kidnapped? I did not hear about that, Coach. I did not hear about that at all. Nope. I had no idea. And Dawn, thank you so much for reminding us that was Renee Good who was killed. But the one thing that I find very disturbing about all of this is that it's a trauma reminder of what our ancestors, I'm so sorry, what my mom left in the South, what my uncles and older cousins, my great aunts, a lot of my family left the South because of the racism and things that were happening down there. And I'm not processing this well. I am not processing it well. And I was watching Jimmy Kimmel last night, and he did a wonderful thing. He showed Alex. Alex was an ICU nurse, and so there was veterans who had passed. There was a veteran who passed, so he was actually kind of reading the last rites, thanking that gentleman for his service. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is wonderful. And Jimmy Kimmel, after he shared that story, just before he shared that story, his voice cracked, and then he says, we'll be right back. Like he just went away from it. And I was like, yeah, this is crazy. So I'm always thinking, what's the thing that you and me can do? Because our police, our people that are in that service is supposed to serve and protect. I noticed that there are more channels and more local news that are focusing on good news stories about how policemen and others that's in law enforcement that are actually doing good things. ICE, no, they're not doing that at all. Kevin He says it's awful how ICE has been so harmful in Minnesota, but it's been harmful in other cities as well. The president and vice president are siding with ICE agents, making them seem like they are the victims. It's disturbing. So what's been happening is that the president and those guys, they're starting to walk back their comments. Because I know Alex Peretti's sister, when I saw her statement on The View, she said that they were trying to paint her brother as if he was a terrorist or if he was someone that was doing something wrong, and he wasn't. And I'm thinking, and I don't know, and I'm not showing the video. I'm not going to show any of the scenes from there, because to me, I'll start crying again. It's like it's a weird okey doke that they're doing, which totally sucks. And thank you, Coach, for saying that. He says we can come together. Dawn, she says ICE is reversing the goodwill that Minneapolis PD created after George Floyd's murder. That is so very true. That is so very true. Because here's the thing. I have friends of mine who are law enforcement. I got a good friend of mine who just became law enforcement. He is in Alabama. I know him. So, you know, people take on, and here's the thing, it is dangerous to be an officer, to work for police right now. It's just dangerous. But for the people that are racist and are using their badge for bad, that's a part of the bad apples that get mixed in with the people that are actually doing their job. And that's not good. Oh, hey, Trisha. She said, she says, Kimmel was great last night. A good depiction of what was going on. Yes. I was very, very pleased with that. Now, as I mentioned, the Coach Tony says we can come together. I knew I had to kind of speak on this because I saw a lot of people from Hollywood speaking out about this. So, what I'm going to do, I have video. You guys know Kerry Washington, right? You remember she was a part of a show called Scandal. She's producing shows on Hulu. She kind of gave a breakdown of what we should be doing, especially if we're not boots on the ground, because I've done my protesting, but I'm going to be protesting in a whole nother way now. Carrie, and let me go ahead and share this, she has encouraged people to call their senators from whatever city they're from. And let me see if I can get the audio on this. Let's see. Oh gosh, it's gone up to 300,000 people listening. Okay, so she says, grab your phone.
Call 202-224-3121. Okay, we're calling this the Senate switchboard. I speak to senators from California.
Please say the name of the United States senator or representative that you are trying to reach, or say, I'm not sure.
Senator Padilla, California. But if you don't know, you can say, I don't know.
Connecting you to the office of Senator
Alex Padilla.
Hi, my name is Kerry Washington. I'm a constituent from Los Angeles. ICE murdered our neighbors in Minneapolis and is terrorizing communities across the country. You are elected to protect us, not fund this violence. Please block future ICE funding now. Thank you. That's it. Now, rewind this video and do it again, because you have two senators and they both need to hear from you. I'm going to do the same thing. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I will try to answer them or ask friends or organizers. We're in this together. Let me know how it goes.
So the number that she gave to call was, if you have, everyone has a senator in their state. For me in Illinois, it's Dick Durbin. I called last night after hours, so I had to call back again this morning. And the script that she said, in which she said, "Hi, my name is," and you give your name, and then you leave that message for them to state. And let me make sure I put this fully in the chat. Let me see. Oh, you're supposed to say, "Hi, my name is," and I would say Valerie. And I'm a constituent of Chicago, Illinois. ICE murdered our neighbors in Minneapolis and is terrorizing communities across the country. You're elected to protect us, not fund this violence. Block future ICE funding now. Thank you. So I think, oh yeah, they said YouTube rejected your comment. This usually means it's spam. Anyway, this is that I just said this, so that's what it means. So that was Kerry Washington. She was very adamant. And so I saw like 10 or 15 other celebrities speaking out against what happened to Alex, speaking out what happened to Renee back 2 weeks ago. And so, like I said, for ourselves, we've got to, as Coach says, come together and do something. And I say, I am praying that things change. They have to. It cannot continue to stay this way, because then we'll have the real life French 75. I think that was the name of the radical group that was in one battle after the other. I don't want to go through. I feel like we are in one battle after the other with ICE. They were in Chicago, they were in Los Angeles, they were in Seattle, they were in New York, they're in Minneapolis. And I think the governor, I think it's Tim Walsh, he ran as a vice president candidate. And if you notice, every city and every state that I mentioned is a Democratic state or city. And so, like I said, I don't like politics, but I cannot sit by and not talk about it. And I know if Tony was here, we'd probably be agreeing with one another. So, and here's Tony. He says, Mike Drew, Terry Hillard was the first black chief in Chicago from 1988 to the early 2000s. Take a page out of his book, because Chicago ran well under his direction. Okay. Terry Hillard. All right. Congrats. Thank you for mentioning that. Yeah. And so, like I said, if you guys have a senator, I'd say go ahead and give him a call. Give her or him a call. I've been doing that. And like I said, this is just, to me, a very rough time to talk. To actually engage and to find out about it. So, like I said, things have got to change. They cannot stay the same at this point. So that's all for that. Now I'm going to move away from all of that. I'm going to shake that off, because that felt very, very uncomfortable. And when I say very uncomfortable, I mean like, ugh, yuck. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so some of the fun stuff I'd like to mention while, like I said, Coach is not with us. He is actually in the chat checking us out. What's happening? Did you know The Breakfast Club is now on Netflix? I had no clue. I think they popped up on, earlier, when was this? Yeah, earlier this weekend. And so the deal went through. So now they are on, you can have them come on Netflix. it would be fun to have Talk on Tuesdays on Netflix. That would be phenomenal. That'd be fun. I think about that I think about that all the time. And of course, it's the Pull Up Podcast Show with Coach Tony. Yes, yes. So definitely, I think that would be fun if that happened. So the Breakfast Club is doing their thing. They're on. And they got their streaming thing. So now I want to mention about A Different World. They are going to be casting. Like, this is a big deal now. So I saw this post. I think this was the Black Script. Yeah, I like following these guys on Instagram. And so Netflix has officially greenlit a continuation of A Different World, bringing the beloved Hillman College legacy to a new generation. How many people are interested in seeing A Different World in this reboot? I don't know. It's going to be interesting. So Felicia Pride, and she's done Grey's Anatomy and Bel Air, will lead the series as the showrunner. It won't be Debbie Allen. It would be Felicia. And Debbie Allen, who played a crucial role, with the original, is going to be directing a couple episodes. So that's going to be fun to see. And the new chapter follows Deborah Wayne. Who's Deborah Wayne? She is the daughter of Dwayne and Whitley Gilbert. I think Malia Joy Moon is going to be playing the daughter. So I think if you guys can see them and make this a little bit bigger. Yeah. So this young lady is going to be playing Dwayne and Whitley's daughter. That's going to be fun to see that. And so these are the 6. Oh, yeah, it said meet the 6 series regulars and then the writers and stuff. And so Gina and Reggie Blythewood, if you recognize that name, those names, they're the ones that gave us Love and Basketball and a few other things. And they worked. In fact, they met on the set of A Different World and they got married later. Felicia Pride, this is the young lady that's going to be show running it. And of course, it's going to be following the daughter, and she's going to be beginning her freshman year at Hillman College, fictitious Hillman College, and she learns that living up to the legacy comes with pressure. The cast also features Aaliyah Kai, Rashida Kaibukanim, Uchi as Kojo. And who else? We have Cornell Young, the fourth, as Shaquille, and Jordan Aaron Hall as Amir, and Kennedy Reese as Hazel. So that's your cast right there. I'm excited. I'm excited for A Different World boot up. I don't know about you, but right now the original series is currently streaming on Netflix. All 6 seasons, and so I'm happy to see these guys come together. And I think they're shooting this in Atlanta, by the way. They are shooting this in Atlanta, so this will be fun. And I think this posted back in November, but more and more things are coming about with this. So I'm just really excited that this is happening. So let's go A Different World. Oh my gosh. Now, what else? Oh, yeah. Before I forget, Sinners. Myself and Coach Tony, we were huge fans of Sinners. And when I say huge fans, like we love the movie. Who else is? Oh, I see some folks are chatting in the chat. All right. Oh, yeah. Who is this? Oh, yeah. Trisha, she said, I am excited too. It was one of my favorite shows. Yes, one of my favorites as well. I was a huge fan of it. And I went ahead. So as I'm talking about it, I did not realize how many awards nominations that Sinners got. So 16 Academy Award nominations, including Best Picture. So I know you guys are like, oh, Val, we don't really care about the awards, but this is a big deal. But here's the thing. There have been films with predominantly Black casts, and if they get a lot of nominations, unfortunately, sometimes they don't win a lot. I kind of feel like there will be a few. I feel like out of the 16, they might win half, and a lot of that's going to be on the technical side. That's how I'm feeling about it. Ryan Coogler, he got nominated for Best Director for this, which is really cool, and Best Original Screenplay, which I think he might win. He might win, or it might be one battle after the other. So it's kind of, back and forth. Best Actor, that is Michael B. Jordan. I think I'm grateful that he was nominated, but I don't know if he's going to win. That's how I feel about it. Now, here's a big thing. Tony in the chat, do you remember what was his name in Malcolm X? Delroy Lindo? I think it was, I forgot his name. But anyway, Delroy Lindo been acting for 30 plus years, easy. Malcolm X was 1992, so that's 30 plus years. This is his first Oscar nomination, so this is huge. Like, Delroy Lindo got nominated for his role in Sinners. And Wunmi Mosaku, she got nominated for Best Supporting Actress. She was not nominated at the Golden Globes, but she got nominated for the Oscar here. So this was really huge. And then of course, right now, makeup and hairstyling, costume design, that's Ruthie Carter. And so this is interesting. The film is back in theaters for a week. I think, is the week up? No, the week will be up at the end of this week. So the end of the month, January 31st, if you want to see it. But I think it's also streaming in a couple of places as well. So congratulations to Sinners. I did not realize that this was a big deal for them to get that many nominations. And I believe there was one category that was created and there was one that was taken away. And so this is how they got so many nominations, because I think they beat out, and I'm referring to the record that they broke. I think Avatar and two other films, I think Lord of the Rings, they were the ones that got the most nominations for one film. And so this was really a really big deal for them. And so, yeah. Coach, I'm telling you, man, I'm hoping that we will see you on next week, that you get power as soon as possible. Cause I'm so sad that you're going through this with no with no power. So I'm really feeling sad about that. And here's the thing, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. So one thing I wanted to share with you guys is that I released a new audio podcast, but now I was able to go ahead and make it video. And so Kevin Springer, he mentions this. Thank you so much for mentioning this, Kevin Springer. He says, Malcolm X, Delroy Lindo played West Indian Archie, a ruthless Harlem gangster. Yes. I was hoping somebody would know that. Yeah. So this is a huge deal that Delroy Lindo got nominated for, because he's never been nominated, and he's been in a ton of films. He should have been nominated for, what was the last film? One of the last films that Chadwick Boseman did, but he wasn't really in it. Chadwick Boseman was in the film, but it was the film that was directed by Spike Lee. I'm going to find that out. I am going to find that out. Yes, I am. So yeah, I wanted to share with you guys the latest podcast that I have, and it's called Why It Took Me 8 years to Start My Podcast. And so I was thinking, yeah, this is this is going to be something interesting. And so I've gone ahead and I've gone ahead and I've I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the chat. And so that is that's it's the new episode that is currently streaming on our YouTube channel, and I'm just real proud of it because I really go into details about exactly why it took myself 8 years to start Interludes. I thought about Interludes in 2012. Mr. Springer is the one who encouraged me that you should do a podcast. And I bought a mic, I got a stand, and I didn't do anything with it until 2020. Dawn, you rock. You get 5 points. The Five Bloods. That was the name of the film that Delroy Lindo should have been nominated for, but he was not. He was not nominated. He should have been nominated. But yeah, I'm like real excited about what is going to happen. I think the Oscars is happening in March. Myself and Coach Tony and Coach Tony is finding out about this at the same time that you're finding out about this. Do you all remember Black History Month, segments or like the little vignettes? When I was in college, when I was at North Central, I produced Black History Month segments. I edited them and they were like 30 seconds, and they would put them before and after a song, or it would be in some kind of break. And we would put those things on like a not a cassette tape, but like a cartridge. That's what it was called. It was called a cartridge, and we put that in. And so next week we kick off our Black History Month celebration, and we're going to be doing those things. We're going to be doing those things, talking about Black History Month, because I feel like we need to keep the history going to avoid what's been happening. Like if we're not talking about our history, we're doomed to repeat it. If you don't know what happened in the Holocaust, if you don't know what happened in Nazi Germany, this is feeling a little similar with what's happening in our world today. If you're not taught that in history, it's bound to repeat. And of course, slavery. No one likes to talk about slavery. That never got renewed for a new season. That was, why can't I think of the gentleman's name? Okay. The creator of Blackish. What is his name? He created a show on Netflix, and he always mentioned it's always about slavery. And I was like, wow. Don says he got snubbed. Hopeful he'll get an Oscar this time. Yeah, he was snubbed at the Golden Globes. So yeah, and Don, she also says that's why the current regime is trying to erase history. Exactly. So myself and Coach Tony, we will be doing Black History Month moments. They're not going to all show up on this show or the Pull Up Podcast show. They're going to show up. Tony, I want you to research athletes that you would like to highlight. And then next month is the start of the Olympics. The Winter Olympics is supposed to get started. So I will be having my eyes on, the Olympians that are going to be doing great things. I'm excited about that. That's going to happen. Yes. Let's see. Oh my gosh. So now I want to make sure I covered everything. I want to make sure that I talked about all the things I want to talk about. This felt very uncomfortable to talk about the political state, but I wanted to share it with you guys because it just felt uncomfortable. I want to make sure that I shared a solution, because we could talk about it and complain about, okay, this is happening, but then what can we do that's positive? So let's always direct the energy into positive, thinking. What can we do so we can protest against it? I say I want to do a deeper dive and find out, are there certain corporations or companies that are supporting things in regards to ICE? Because if you are, I'm all about a good boycott. Money is power. Take away the money. Do you have any power? Nope. So I want to make sure that I talked about that and got that out. So in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys know that we're gonna be back next week. Coach Tony, prayerfully, will be back. Kicking off our Black History Month. I'm excited. That's gonna be happening, and we're gonna be doing our thing. And here he is. Here we go, Coach Tony. I'm gonna do some drum roll. The drum roll for Coach Tony. There we go. He's doing his thing. Thank you so much. And so definitely, I want to make sure that I tell you guys about our upcoming webinar that's happening. If you guys are interested in getting to start your podcast and you want to use AI, I say go ahead, and it's called Kickstart Your Podcast for 2026. The AI supported way. Like, I got a chance to get some information about it. So go ahead and check it on out. And then I'm going to do this. I'm going to put up the QR code, because I like that there's a QR code. Bam! So that QR code that you see up there, that's for you can register. And if you're gonna be up on a Saturday morning at 9:00 Central, 10 a.m. Eastern, come check us out. You learn how to do some animation with Keygen and Sora. I am hyped. I am so hyped. Oh my gosh. And of course, the print book is available. A DJ Saved My Life. It is the ABCs of starting your own podcast. But then on top of it is how I tell you guys how I saved my own life for being a podcast and a virtual DJ person. So yeah, that was me doing that. And patreon.com/interludes. Find your voice, do your thing. It's a beautiful thing. Go ahead and check us out there. We have behind the scenes that happen. And of course, you can join our Patreon community for free for podcasting tips and more. Join us at patreon.com/interludes. And then that's what we do there. And then, of course, Key Spot, that's one of our affiliate sponsors. Learn more about how to market your small business. Visit keyspot.app.com/free. Thank you so much for that, Mr. Springer. And then go ahead and make sure you are following Coach Tony on the Pull Up Podcast Show. We are doing our thing over there. And then, of course, the Interludes Podcast, as well as Val the Voice Johnson on Instagram. Oh my gosh. And I think, the Pull Up Podcast Show, we will be back. Lord willing, we will be back next Monday. It will not be a replay. But then again, we don't know what Mother Nature is going to say. We're gonna stay tuned to what Mother Nature is going to say. So we want to make sure that we come back with that. And of course, and lastly, the morning meetup. Get your business accountability on today for $19 a month. Just go ahead and join with that link in the chat. Thank you so very much. And like I said, this QR code is for our webinar. I was looking for the webinar. There we go. This QR code is for our webinar, Kickstart Your Podcast for 2026. Thank you. Thank you so very much, Mr. Springer. And I see Coach Tony. He's like, thanks everyone for checking in, because we wanted to make sure that we checked in on you. Right, Coach? Yes, we did. We wanted to make sure that we checked in on you. But myself and Coach Tony will be back on next week. And we thank you guys so very much for joining us for another edition of Interludes Extra Presents Talk on Tuesdays. And for everyone out there, please be careful from the frozen ice and ice. You know someone? Call someone. Let them know that you care. We are in this together, right? Right. All right, guys. I'm Val the Voice Johnson, and we'll see you guys next week. Take care. Peace.